Hello and welcome back to my F125 modded career mode. Today obviously is the second round. If you haven't seen the previous episode, our big debut, a lot happened. Slick tires on a wet track. There was a mix between slicks and inters at the start. It was very chaotic. Some crashes as well. It was going off everywhere. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend you go check that out. Definitely a very hectic debut. Anyway, we're moving on from Australia all the way to Japan now for the Japanese Grand Prix. Obviously in recent years, it's normally been to the end of the season, but now this time in the real life 25 season, it's actually at the start. So now it is actually our official round 2 going into Japan. Obviously, I'm feeling a little more confident and get more time in the car, do more practice runs like I'm doing right now as the tire management test, try and again build, help me kind of learn more about the tires, how I can preserve them, save them a bit more, which I think will definitely help me. You see that I'm already in purple, making a lot of management on my tires already, which is definitely a good sign, definitely for the weekend to come. So hopefully this will go to good use over the weekend if obviously our tires drop off the cliff or anything. And we see we're coming across the line now. We did have a little dip near the end of the lap, because I think we had a locked up during into the last chicanes. Obviously that's going to affect us for us, so we go for a second run, try and do it again. So you see that this time our tires are a lot better. I was trying to take them a bit more carefully, so I'm trying not to ruin as much as I think. This would definitely come at definitely a useful tip in the future. Obviously I know I'm running 25% races, but this is only for the first season. As going on for season 2, I'm definitely going to do the 50%. I just want to get this first season over and done with, because obviously I'm a bit behind compared to everyone else because I'm starting a lot later. Obviously I've got the game later and everyone's a lot more ahead, so obviously I want to get this first season done and dusted out of the way. That's why I'm doing that so far. So now we've done our practice sessions, we've done a few of our tests that we've run and we've done them, but now we're moving on straight on to qualifying, try and see what we can improve on. We're going through, try and get a setup. I try and get a setup what I can. It's not the best, I'm not the best at setups, obviously I'm still getting used to them, but I know it's definitely more of a downforce track. That sector 1 is definitely heavy for downforce. I'm definitely trying to utilize that because I know our straight line speed is definitely one of our weakest points on the car no matter the setup compared to everyone else. But now you see I was going a little too careful through the first corner because I wasn't as committed as I wanted to be. I was trying to go a little more safer than I wanted, so that kind of messes up my sector up through sector 1, so that's going to cost me a few tenths. And then now coming across the line, that's going to put me in P13, which is just ahead of Albon, which is good. It's ahead of our teammate, but I know I can improve, but it's just that first sector I need to be a lot more committed towards the corner. See that poor Aaron is in 8th place, which is stunning from the rookie driver, but behind him is Bortoleto, Hadjar, Antonelli, myself, a row of rookies. Good to see that we're all kind of coming together. We've got some good pace of rookies around this physical racetrack. We see now we're setting ourselves up for our final qualifying lap, trying to improve on our time, which I know we can, because we know definitely a few more attempts in that first sector. A few others we can probably utilize our ERS deployment a lot better. So we're going to try and use our tires to the full advantage as much as we can. As we send it down into turn 1, a lot more committed than we did last time. We used all the track and tires we can. We clipped the curb, have a bit of a moment on the curb. We have a massive moment and we spun round, and that is our qualifying over. A massive mistake and a spin that's going to cost us a lap time to improve. And where will that put us? It's going to put us in P13, still thankfully ahead of Albon, but we are still 2 seconds away from first, from pole position. That is Oscar Piastri, which is an astonishing lap, I must say. I know I could improve my lap, but definitely nowhere near by 2 seconds. I think probably by 6/10 at most with the car, because obviously it's about the 8th best car on the grid at the moment currently, but 2 seconds is a massive gap. And I'm not sure if you saw, but in 4th place sitting rookie Paul Aaron. I'm not sure where he got the lap in that Aston Martin Honda, but he must have sent it absolutely amazing around the Suzuka Circuit, because 4th place is incredible by a rookie. But now I see we're trying to set our strategy up obviously for this race around Suzuka. It's not a massive tire wear issue around here, but obviously I'm going to try and go for an undercut on people. I'm going to try and go a lap earlier than what the team wanted me to do, because I think with the fresher tires, obviously that's going to help me massively, obviously trying to gain up through the ranks. Obviously starting outside the top 10 is not what we want, but we want to try and finish inside the top 10 for a strong finish at Japan. We're now coming to the end of the formation now. Set ourselves up, park just perfectly for the best launch we can. But we're now heading to 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix round 2 of the modded F125 career mode, and we are going yet again. It's a great start for us. We're already past Hadjar on the soft tire, trying to make a move past Hulkenberg already, sliding behind him. Sainz has a bit of a bad start, get bogged down. You see that Leclerc goes wide. Not sure if he's been pushed off or not, or there's been any contact at the front, but definitely an interesting sight. A Ferrari already off the road at turn 1, but now we're trying to trying to get past Esteban Ocon as we're going through slaloming through both the S's side by side, trying to get past him if we can, but we just lose out to Ocon. Obviously he's going to have the inside line to get that edge on him to get ahead of us, and now we are now stuck behind the house of Esteban Ocon in that beautiful Jägermeister livery, I must say. But now we try and catch up, try and get past him once again, because obviously we're now a bit behind. But as you see that Ocon's also behind Sainz, so we make a move into the hairpin, but actually we send it down past Esteban Ocon into the hairpin. What a beautiful move from really far back. We make it stick on the X, we plant the power power, and we get it smoothly past him. That was a spectacular move in the hairpin. As we see now, Oscar Piastri leads the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Norris, and then Paul Aron, the rookie, is maintaining his 4th position so far, as is being chased down by Charles Leclerc and George Russell as we go on board with the young sensational rookie from Estonia, trying and keep ahead of the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Have a big ask to do in the Aston Martin Honda as Charles Leclerc is trying to set up a move through 130R, which he does nicely. Through gets past Aaron and he makes the move stick. And obviously with a big squabbling for position ahead of us, we make up a lot of time on the group ahead. So now we're on the back of Carlos Sainz to potentially maybe set up a move. And we see that now Verstappen having to defend from Lando Norris is trying to set up a move all the way around outside of him, but Verstappen defends perfectly, places his car in the right position where he needs to be, so Norris can't get ahead of him. So now we're back onto our POV, onto lap 2, and near the end, going to 135, that Sainz is making a move on Bortoleto through 130R, which is a very bold move, which he does, just making it stick, which is definitely a brave move from Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Now Bortoleto, we could potentially get a move on him as we slowly plant the power from the last chicane onto the main straight as Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Now he's seen himself setting up a move on Oscar Piastri, trying to get past him into the first corner, which he does nicely. Now he's leading the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of the 2 McLarens. You see now back onto our POV, we're now on the back of the gearbox of Bortoleto. He's slowly dipping away from Sainz in the pack as Sainz is making the moves on the pack ahead of us, so he's definitely trying to get behind him, trying to get past through the group as much as we can. And we have a bit of a moment through on the end of the S, which definitely could cost us a few tenths, but you see now a few corners later, we set up a move on Bortoleto, we send it down the inside into the spoon, and we make it stick. Definitely a bit of an awkward corner on the exit, but we definitely make it stick ahead of Bortoleto. Now heading on to lap 4, we try and keep over Bortoleto. Obviously he's in the slipstream, got the power of the DRS, we make him go defensive, go for a bit of a tighter line as he come across into the first turn, try and make him go tight, try and do a cutback if we can, but honestly Bortoleto defending really nicely and very easily, trying to self move possibly through the S's, but definitely it gets very tight through here, so definitely only a one line through the S's, so definitely we can't get past him just yet. So later on the lap, we try and catch on Bortoleto, trying to stay in the back of him, as we see who's got a slow car coming onto our right is the rookie Paul Aron, who's got a major issue. Is it an engine issue? Is it the end of his race? We'll have to worry about that later, as now Oscar Piastri trying to make a move on his teammate Lando Norris into the first one, which he does nicely, and now back on board with us with our battle with Bortoleto. We're trying to get the slipstream and the DRS and ERS all to effect. We go to the round side, we make a move, we make it stick. That was a lot that happened in that one bit, but we go back to Paul Aron to see what happened. As you see, he's flying P6 ahead of the Red Bull Ford of Yuki Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz, as he's just on the main straight into 130, as he pulls right to the left hand side very aggressively, trying to get out of the way of the cars, and he goes very slowly. And I'm trying to see what the issue is. Is it something internally with his engine? Is it something a bit worse than that? We're really not sure, as he's going really slow into the final chicane, as he's all over the place, and we see that now he's definitely going to come down into pit lane. So obviously, is it a puncture? Definitely. We go on board with it, and we see yes, that it is indeed a right rear puncture. 4 laps in with the puncture this quickly must have been definitely something that I was not on my bingo card already, because definitely that quickly of a tyre going off that quickly is unheard of unless it's like a faulty tyre. So definitely maybe some mismanaging on Paul Aron's side. Still a rookie, still learning, but definitely I think there's more to it. So now speaking of tyres, we're coming to make our pit stop, going for the undercuts, trying to put on some fresh tyres, try and maybe undercut some of the cars ahead. So obviously we're in a bit of a DRS train at the moment with obviously about 3 cars ahead of us. We're going to try and jump that, obviously make one stop early. Obviously behind us there's only 3 of us in the moment, myself, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, making that early stop. So obviously hopefully this goes to our full effect. As we see now back on Bortoleto a lap later, he comes into the pit lane along with Ocon, Albon, Alonso, everyone behind us in that group are making that stop. You see that Bortoleto putting on the hards, he gets held up by our teammate, by Albon. It's a massive job, thank you Albon for holding him up, because we definitely was in the battle against Bortoleto. As we're going back on board with us, and we're trying to see where he is, trying to see will he come near us. Actually no, he's not even near us at all. There's a massive gap, so Albon holding up Bortoleto did us massively for us. And then we try and push as much as we can through on our outlap as well, and see how much time we can make up. I was now heading on to lap 9 ahead of us. You see a very faint red scarlet Ferrari. It's Carlos Sainz, who was ahead of us earlier obviously in the race, and now we're trying to see, obviously he has the cold tyres. We're going to try and get him as much time as we can through the S section. We'll definitely be against him. Obviously we're going to have more of the grip, more of the heated tyres, so hopefully we can potentially maybe set up a move against the Ferrari, try and at least get a move attempt on him, because obviously he has the inferior car ahead of us, a lot better, probably I think it's the 3rd or 2nd best car on the grid currently. But now we're trying to, on the back of Carlos Sainz's gearbox, try and maybe potentially set up a move through spoon, maybe get on the exit. We have a bit of a twitch moment, but he's trying to plant the power as much as we can. But if you look at the difference between the straight line speed of our powertrain compared to the Ferrari, it is absolutely a missile, that Ferrari. We don't have the powertrain, we don't have like the resources compared to the powertrain compared to the Ferrari, as we lose about 3 or 4 tenths in that last sector, and we're trying to stay with them, try and go into the hairpin. We have to make a bit of a mistake, trying to even stay save as much as we can. And this is probably trying to get this best of a P7, but obviously in that Ferrari is way more dominant than our car. So that shows definitely our weaker part of our car is definitely our straight line speed. So definitely now on to lap 12. Carlos Sainz is 4 seconds ahead of us. In a few laps, he's pulled out a massive gap ahead of us, where you see behind us. Paul Aaron, despite having the puncture, he's still behind us, but he's 5 seconds behind us. So now this is quite a boring race. It's been quite tame. Since the pit stop phase, a lot has kind of died down. But he said that Max Verstappen is leading the Japanese Grand Prix. He's going to claim back-to-back wins ahead of Oscar Piastri and both the McLarens of Lando Norris, as we're trying to come through Spoon one final time, try and make any mistakes, try and bring it home, obviously with a very comfortable P8. As you see that Leclerc, Tsunoda, Russell, and there is Sainz on the back of George Russell, making about a 5-second gap behind him, which is absolutely amazing. You see that we're coming through the final chicane, coming through for a very solid P8, which I'm very, very happy with. Coming through the final corner, bring it home safely, and another point scoring position, and I'm very much happy with that. As Verstappen, yet again, back-to-back wins at the start of the season, definitely showing how good that Ford new engine is of the V6 Evos is coming through, as Verstappen takes both wins. As coming through, Paul Aaron again, still despite that puncture early on in the race, he still crawled back to good P9, still scoring points for Aston Martin Honda, which is definitely really good. But now looking into the standings, obviously the driver standings, Max Verstappen obviously is going to be leading after taking both wins quite dominantly in both fashions. Obviously we are about P7, which I'm quite happy with. Red Bull obviously leading the Constructors' Championship ahead of McLaren and Mercedes and Ferrari. We are in P5. Again, really, really happy with that. But obviously now we've got a bit of a surprise, a secret meeting, potentially one of the other teams who potentially maybe want to sign us. And I've never had this before, so this is definitely all new to me. And Aston Martin are interested, which again, I'm a little taken back by, because their car has been really, really good. It's been really, really strong. And I'm a little interested. I'm flicking through, trying to compare Williams and Aston Martin, trying to see what I do. But in the end, I decline, because obviously I want to stay faithful to Williams. And if we can improve the car, we can definitely make one unit together. So that has been the Japanese Grand Prix, guys. A little bit of a tease at the end, obviously, with a secret meeting. I've never had that before, but definitely interesting. But more is definitely to come with the episodes. I'm actually enjoying this career mode at the moment, and I can't wait to bring more. Hope you guys see you in the next video. Peace.